see if this is recording. Anyway, this is the Tamarillo. This is not a plant, it's actually a tree, which I didn't know when I planted it. It's quite big. I'll give you an idea of the size of those leaves. Those leaves are maybe 4 or 5 times the size of my hand. This is only a little plant. I can't imagine how big this plant or leaves even get. Let me just push that out of the way. Here's the stem. Give you an idea on how thick the stem is compared to my thumb. It's probably a little better than an inch in diameter, maybe more like 1.25 inches. Yeah, some of the leaves are dying. I'm not sure what's happening with this. I'm really not sure why they're burning off. Maybe not enough sunlight, maybe blight. Here's a view of the stem. I'll give you kind of a good view of it. It's got little spots on it. The stem is a little bit furry. It's a light stock type of a wood, almost like a sumac, a young sumac. This plant has a very bizarre kind of a smell. It almost smells awful, but then it has like a chocolatey, coffee, nutty smell to it. It has a nutty, not like crazy nutty, but nutty, like a nut smell. It's very, a very unique plant as far as that goes. It's definitely got some scent to it. This plant was planted, I believe, last year in August. So this plant's almost a year old. It's only as big as it is now. You're just seeing what it is for what it is. Not sure why I'm getting a little bit of wilt on this. It's starting to wilt a little. It's got plenty of water. This plant is known to like a lot of water. So I don't know, there might be a disease going on in the roots. At this point, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It is drinking water. It consumes about 1 gallon every 2 days. Unless it's a really hot day, then I may have to fill it every day. It holds about 1.5 gallons of water in the container on the bottom. But I think this plant is too big for this container, and I don't think transplanting it's going to really be an option. I would just basically destroy the plant trying to get it out of there. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what the result of this is going to be. I didn't know this was a tree. I kind of looked it up online, and if you read the description on the seeds, it kind of makes it sound like, yeah, you could just grow this in your garden. It makes a nice house plant. Yeah, it makes a nice house plant, guys. Yeah. The smell of this plant is really, it's undescribable. When I first started smelling it, it was awful, but now that it seems like as it's growing older and it gets larger, it has this really nice nutty flavor to it. It has like a nut flavor of some kind, you know. I mean, these leaves are just, I mean, look at the size of this. It's just absolutely humongous. And this leaf is still crinkly. That means it's still expanding. Like, here's a leaf that, I mean, look, this is, my God, this is tremendous. It really needs a lot of sunlight. I think that's why the leaves are dying off on the bottom. It's getting too much morning shade and too much afternoon shade. I might move this plant down to the lower level and put it where it's going to get the maximum sunlight so it can grow and get its maximum sunlight. I think that's what the problem is. You see, there's these freaking spider mites. This thing had or spider mites or aphids. This thing had a really bad problem with aphids. It's like the odor that it has draws these bugs in for miles. I don't even know how they're getting up here. I mean, where my deck is about 15 feet off the ground, all the way up in the air. I mean, here's my roof. Okay, there's the roof, guys. I am literally almost roof level here. All right, so I don't know how these bugs are getting up here. And diseases too. I got blight on all these plants up here. All got blight. I'm going to talk about a problem I had with one of one of the things I bought that I've been using to help fight off blight and everything like that, and I put this stuff in there and I spray it on my plants, and it actually was like dumping gasoline on fire. I don't know what to say about it, huh? I don't think it's a good idea to use this stuff. It's like a bacterial type stuff that's supposed to fight off blight, but you can see the damage that this stuff is doing to my plants, you know. I sprayed it on there like it said and everything, and you got rid of the blight, but it itself seems to be eating up the leaves like a disease or something. I don't know. I'll go over that another time, I guess. But right now, I'm just giving you a quick view of the Tamarillo, the size. The leaves are very soft, velvety-like. If anybody has ever felt the velvet leaf plant, they call it toilet paper plant for a reason. This feels very much like that type of plant. It's very soft, very gentle, no thorns. Everything is smooth. It's very soft, light type of wood. Maybe you're going to call it a stem. It's more like tree wood, you know. You can see it gets woody down at the bottom as it loses the leaves. It gets woody up front, up at the top. There's little things that want to come out, but they're not coming out yet. I guess maybe if I top it, it'll bush out. I don't know. But I don't know what else to say about it. It's a Tamarillo. We're going to see how this thing progresses, if it's worth bringing in the winter or not. They say that in order for it to fruit, it takes like 6 months or something. I don't know. This thing's been growing since August already. I got to wait another year to grow it. I mean, what am I growing? An apple tree or you know? The descriptions, this is what you end up with when you don't really know what you're growing, and there's not a whole lot of information on the net about really this and how to grow it. There's like stuff and not quite enough, I guess. So, well, now you know. That's what this purpose of this video is for, is to educate people who are going to try to buy the Tamarillo seed and grow it, and you're going to see what the results are, whether it's failure or success, so you know if you should actually get involved with something like this or not before you buy the seeds. Because it's not just spending the money on the seeds and wasting the money on the seeds. It's the determination and dedication you're going to have to put into this to get this plant to either produce or just grow like a giant weed on your deck and take up a whole bunch of space for nothing, and you're never going to see fruit out of it. I don't know what to say. You know, I'm growing almost 1,000 plants. I don't mind growing a plant like this if it's maybe going to give me something in the end. If it's just going to take up space, I got hundreds of plants that take up space that I eventually let die in the back of my yard, you know. So if it's not going to put anything out in the end, I think to me it's kind of a waste. It's an interesting hobby, but we're getting over a year with it now, and I don't know if I'm going to see Tamarillos out of this. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, and we'll ride this train to the end of its tracks. So we'll find out what happens with it in the end. So.